very last game of this week is the battle for Texas. I think it might be a slaughter. I think it might be a
I don't know
slaughter for
that.
Texas.
I said before the season that I thought the Texans would come back to earth a little bit, and then obviously early in the season, they were looking really good, really dominant, but they've sort of come back to earth a little bit. But yeah, Cowboys are god awful.
Yeah.
And what's funny is right now they'd have the 11th pick in the draft. And almost every mock draft I've seen, taking Ashton Genty out of Boise State, the running back, which if you haven't seen highlights of him, go watch it.
Yeah.
He is a beast. He's like a Derrick Henry Jr. Mixed with a little Barkley. He is a beast. But yeah, that's what they absolutely need. Now, even if you have the best running back, you still got to block for him, and their line is garbage. So, Dak's out for the season. I mean,
this is my thing. I think McCarthy will be fired at the end of the season, or not brought back. Because I think he's in a lame duck year where he just doesn't have a contract. So I don't think he's coming back. And then the defense doesn't look good. Dan Quinn left, and the defense doesn't look good, and the offense doesn't look good at all. They don't really have players. I don't think Dak is even a top 15 quarterback anymore. He's and now he's becoming somewhat injury prone. I think they have two star players, two-star or very good players in CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. I think Lawrence is very good. I don't think he's a star player.
No.
Other than those two, they don't have anybody else who is, in my opinion, a top 10 or top 15 player at their position. They are not good. Point blank are not good. They will not be good for the next couple of years.
Well, it's hard to say that because you can turn us, look at the Commanders, number 2 overall pick, and, now they're competing for the playoffs in the division. So in the NFL, you can go from first to worst very easy.
My concern, though, is what coach is going to want to come coach there. You're going to have Jerry Jones constantly peddling, and you're going to have a $65 million quarterback you're strapped with.
Listen, you're gonna have coaches because it's the Dallas Cowboys. But I agree with you. And every Cowboys fan I talk to, including your brother-in-law, but every fan I talk to all say, I can't wait for Jerry Jones to die.
Yeah.
Which is morbid and, whatever, but
or at least just not run football anymore.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he ever will.
I mean, I think it'll have to get to the point where the family just has to tell him, like, hey, you need to step aside. Obviously, they're not there. And his son, Steven, is the heir apparent to take over. But at the end of the day, until you can stop him, he's not just a meddling owner, he's a GM.
Yeah. That's the problem is, not only are meddling owners bad, yes, look at the Jets. Okay? The Jets have a meddling owner, and they are
look at all the years with Snyder.
Look at all the years with Snyder. Look at the Raiders. Okay, so a meddling owner is bad, yes. But when that meddling owner is also your GM, it's terrible. I mean, he goes on that show every Tuesday and talks about shit, and it just doesn't look good, and it doesn't make you're not interesting players. Players are not going to want to come and play for you when you go on your, radio talk show and slam your players that are there for you, that work for you. It's just not.
When you say players don't want to go there, they don't try to attract free agents.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, they don't go out and try to sign people. They don't
have the money.
Yeah.
We didn't have the money. Derrick Henry wouldn't have been a good fit.
The NFL is, it's like a credit card. you can pay for it if you want to. I mean, you're gonna have to pay the bill eventually, but
I know about that.
yeah. But yeah, I'm looking at their schedule, like, Texans, and then at the Commanders, and then the Giants, which,
I don't even know
I
if
mean,
that's a win.
you can't guarantee that yet. And then the Bengals, and then at the Panthers, who are actually playing a little bit better right now.
I don't even know if that's a win.
And then the Bucks on a Sunday night. Then at the Eagles, and then home against the Commanders to end the season.
So out of all of those games, if you put the Cowboys against all those teams, how they're playing right now, obviously, Jaden Daniels could get injured, and then Washington's going to look different. But if you're talking about how they're playing right now, the only game I think they have a somewhat chance in is the Giants game. I think the Panthers are playing way better than the Cowboys are.
Well, I'm looking at the ESPN,
Odds.
matchup predictor, and the only game that they're actually predicted to have a chance to win is the Panthers game. Actually, no, Panthers are favored.
That's what I would say. Yeah, the Panthers are probably favored because they're playing better.
Yeah, they're underdogs in every game the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
I could see them easily losing now.
Yeah, they could go. I mean, they could go 3-14, and at that point, you've got a top 5 pick.
3 pick, yeah. Problem is, are you going to draft a quarterback when you just signed Dak Prescott to the biggest deal in NFL history?
Yeah, I mean, no, they're not signing a quarterback.
Yeah,
and they're probably that high. They're not going to draft Genty. So either you draft the best tackle, offensive lineman, or you trade back to a quarterback needy team to try to build out the rest of your team.
I mean, my thing is they're strapped with a expensive, aging, injury-prone quarterback, a meddling GM / owner, a new coach next year, a brand new coach who probably isn't going to be the best hire that they could get if they looked more promising, because they're not going to attract the best coach because no one's going to want to go there because they can't win a Super Bowl within the next couple of years, in my opinion. Yeah, they're going to have a high draft pick, but what does that mean? If like you just don't have the opportunity, in my opinion. They don't have the opportunity to be able to look. I don't think they're going to look good next year.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
I agree you can turn it around in 1 year. I mean, the Texans did it, and the Cowboys, or Commanders did it, but they did it with rookie quarterbacks. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, the Bengals did it with Burrow,
and he was a rookie quarterback. Like all of these teams who turn around in 1 year, quote unquote, do it with a brand new coach usually and a brand new quarterback.
Your Rams did it, making a trade for Stafford.
Yeah. But we already had all the pieces. We had Jalen Ramsey, Donald, Cooper Kupp, a good offensive line.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys, the problem is
they just don't have the pieces.
Are they? I don't think that their ego will allow them to go into a full rebuild.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that.
So
I think they might be forced. They're like the only reason they're going to have a top 5 draft pick potentially this year is because they were forced to due to a quarterback injury.